Hey gang, this is Mike with Mr. No Fluff, and today's episode is about how much real estate do you need to be rich and have financial freedom in the next market crash. In other words, in the crash of 2019, where we're gonna having massive asset manipulations from stocks to real estate, when these markets bust, how much real estate does someone need to have financial freedom and become rich? Okay. Now, this is not a financial advice. I'm just giving you my opinions. But that said, let's pull the curtain back and get started. Real estate in today's time is good because two things. Number one, the Federal Reserve, the central bankers are constantly printing money. So hard assets like real estate over time are increase in value because of so much inflation. Okay, so these assets are meant to go up in price. If you look over real estate 5 years ago to now, they've increased in rental costs significantly. They increase in price significantly. Now, yes, there's going to be a crash correction because the assets too high, but that doesn't matter for me because the property is going to be cash flowing, which leads me to the next point. Um, how many properties do you need, or do I need, or does someone need if they were trying to do the research and figure out for them to have financial freedom? Now, the cash flow is the key because it doesn't matter if the market is going up, it doesn't matter if the market is going sideways, it doesn't matter if the market is coming down because if you're getting positive cash flow from a deal, then what you can sell it for is irrelevant if you're just looking for the cash flow because you're not looking to sell it. So that's a variable that you're not even considering at that specific time. In 2019, real estate market crash and many other assets are going to be 40, 50% off. Depends on what part of the country you're in. Okay. And more importantly, there's going to be a tsunami of foreclosures happening, which is going to create massive amount of motivated sellers. And what I do in my business as a real estate investor, I don't buy from the MLS. I don't hire a real estate agent. I don't go to the foreclosure auctions. I don't go to the tax auctions because all those are very, very simple and there's too many people there and then my profit margin shrinks up. What I do is I deal with motivated sellers, people that go into a divorce, like 60-70% of people in America that get married go to a divorce, people that have lost jobs, people that, because of this new crash we're going to be in, corporations going to be letting go. You're already seeing that with Ford. You're already seeing that with big companies, massive layoff, which is going to create a tsunami of motivated sellers. So what I do is I deal with motivated sellers and they become my bank. Now, the point I'm trying to make with them becoming my bank is that I will just take over their mortgage if they have a loan. And if they don't have a loan, then they're going to finance me. Okay. Now, why would they finance me or why would they let me take over their payments because they're highly motivated and they're not going to be able to exit on the normal market because there's going to be so much inventory from short sales, foreclosures, normal sellers, people that are behind, etc. Now, the thing that I want to put my attention to is that with these properties that the sellers are now trying to sell, they have ultra low interest rate, which is like almost never heard of, like almost 0%, which means they're going to cash flow magnificently. They're going to cash flow so much versus maybe in the 80s, definitely more than 2006, 2005, 2004, because interest rates are half of what they were, if not even less. So to, to answer someone's curiosity, well, how many properties do I need in my rental profile to be able to retire? Well, it depends on many different factors. But with the factors that I'm talking about are just the deals themselves. Because, if you have a consumption cancer, then it's a never ending process. It doesn't matter if you have 10 units or 100 units or 10,000 units. If you have consumption of cancer where you constantly have to do better than the Joneses or keep up with the Joneses, etc., um, then you could never, they're just not a number. But if you don't have that, or if you realize you have that and you're working on stopping that, then the average American, from the statistics that I see, family of two makes roughly about $50,000. Okay, that's from the statistics that I see. So in today's market, with the cash flows, with the properties cash flowing so much because of interest rates being at all time zero, I am seeing entry level homes, first time home buyers, okay, that they can, once the property I buy it, I could turn it around and quickly rent it out for $700 a month for entry level homes. This is unheard of. In 2006, 2005, you couldn't do that. I was getting 300, 400 at the very, very best. Where, now, right off the bat, there's $700 in spread because after I pay PITI, which is principal, insurance, tax, and insurance, once I take care of all that, there's still so much left over because of the interest rate. Okay, is so low, which makes the monthly payments so low. Okay, which leaves a significant spread. So an average house that I'm seeing right now, entry level homes, what I invest in, okay, is $700. And that's not even like a super good deal. Just like, I mean, and that's on the very low scale. Now I am seeing where I'll make 1,200 bucks, 1,000 bucks, okay, on someone's existing mortgage. But I'm looking at the very low end, $700 on an average entry level home. Okay, I'm not talking about upper or in a war zone. I don't do that. I do pretty homes that I'm would live safe to live into it myself. Okay, so my strategy is a little different. But on entry level homes, okay, $700 on an average minimum. So according to what the national American household brings in is about 50. So someone would only need 700 times five, which is 3,500. If you own five houses, it's 3,500, okay, a month. So that's very close to the average so household that brings in 50, because right off the bat, if you own five properties, buying them the strategies that I teach, which is not going to a bank. I mean, you can go to a bank, you can use your own money, but what I do is I just find motivated sellers and I allow them to become my bank. Doesn't matter if they have a mortgage or if they don't. And by this strategy, just owning five entry level homes, okay, is going to spit off a minimum of $3,500 with $700 each house. And that's on the low end because interest rates are so ultra low. I've never seen in the history of the world in America interest rates being so low on a 30-year mortgage, on a 15-year mortgage, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, which means that's going to be a big spread. So if the average American just hold on to five properties, they're going to make a minimum, roughly, it's not financial advice, but $3,500 a month after paying their property, principal, property taxes, interest, and insurance. Okay. Now, it doesn't include vacancy, doesn't include um, property management, but with five, then more than likely you would be managing it yourself, or you could outsource it out because you're making so much money already out of it. So even if you put $100 for someone to manage it, you'll be left with $600. Okay, and you took $100 for vacancy, which doesn't go anywhere. That one stays in your pocket just in case. What if something happens? Then you're still making $500 off each property, where no bank was involved, your credit wasn't involved. You didn't have to come up with the whole purchase price to buy the property, the 100K, the 200K, the 300K. You didn't have to come up with that because the seller was your bank. Okay. Now, this is significantly amazing because with five properties, the average American, five rental houses, the average American can now make at least $700 positive cash flow per house, per door. Okay. Now, what if someone wants more than that? Well, if you had 10, then you're making a passive income of roughly $6,000. 3,500 times two, okay, will be actually 7,000, but minus those property management and vacancy, So I said $6,000. The other thousand, half of it will go to property management. The other half will go into your pocket for a rainy day. What if vacancy? Okay. So that's excellent because the average household in America, they have to have two jobs. The mom has to pay for the babysitter. They have to sit in traffic. They have to yes sir, no sir, some boss to say, can I get this day off? Can I go here? And they're just gonna have to always ask someone. We're on here, they're learning a whole lot of new skills. Yes, there can be vacancy. Yes, people can trash your home, but since 2006, no one has ever trashed my home. Maybe because I did it right. I didn't just put any schmuck in there, any deadbeat person in there. And if you guys want more videos about how I screen people, I'd love to make it for you. Just leave a comment. Okay. Um, anyways, so by going this other option, yes, there can be muddy days, but that's not always. Not everyone's going to trash your home. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen. But is it every opportunity? If you put the wrong person, maybe. Okay. But no one ever trashed my home. Did I have to do evictions? Yes, I did have to do evictions. But guess what? I made money, right? Every time someone was late making their rent, I made more money because there was fees that I had to pay, and you own five rental properties, and everyone's late, and you're charging 10% extra, whatever the rent was, plus $25 a day. You can see that's hundreds and thousands of dollars. Okay, so just because they're late is not a bad thing. Credit card companies, banks, they make millions and billions and trillions of dollars on insufficient funds transactions. So, it's actually beneficially in a sense when they're late, you make more money and they pay. If they don't pay, you do evictions, and that's why I took away the 10%, for vacancy. Okay. As we said, 700 and it will be 500, or you could not include that and be 700, however you want to do it. Okay. But I included in there and I didn't include in there for you guys to do the comparison. So, five properties for the average American can make them financially free. Now, if they have consumption of cancer, which is they are always going to need a new 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 gadget, then maybe not. Okay. But if they're in control of their brain and, they don't have to keep up with the Joneses, nor do they want to be the Joneses, then five properties is going to give them passive income for them to retire. Now, can they go and retire and, live in Hawaii? No. Okay. But they can retire where they don't have to go to work. They can spend time with their kids, come to the park, do things of that nature, right? That they can do. Now that they have all this extra free time, what should can they do with that time? They could drink, brewskis, or they could go and be their dreams, right? And figure another way they could contribute and, earn some money, by the same time do something they love, which if the side effect is money versus let me trade my time for a paycheck, which is all about money. Does that make sense? It's very important not to chase money because um, you're not going to be happy. Simply put, all right. At the very minimum. Now, the other thing that I didn't talk about is that was just a passive cash flow. Now we have to understand that most of the congressperson in Congress, all the rich people, they own real estate, majority of them. And so they make laws into their favor for real estate. That's why if you borrow money for buying a real estate, you get deductions and you get to write off your interest and so many different things. You get the right depreciation. So we have to understand that the lawmakers, they own real estate. They're in the passive income category. They're not in the let me trade my time for some fake fiat dollars. Okay. They don't do that. They have passive income. So when they're making laws, somehow inherently they're going to make laws into their own favor to protect their assets. So that's why you see laws made into the favor of passive income versus the guy that trade or the girl that trades is just time for money. Okay, so that's another benefit. And another benefit is that because we're in a central banking system, the Federal Reserve, they're constantly printing money. Okay, it makes these assets like real estate go up and go up and go up in price. And how much? Significantly, significantly, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I can give you story after story. For example, um, I know many people that bought houses in the 2003, and their houses, were just entry level homes, 100, 150. Now those homes are worth 350, 400. Okay. So, and that's like a 10-year span. That's a That's pretty short. Okay. The price has gone up so much. Okay. Another example is in the 1970s, an average home cost about medium home 24,000. That same home now is worth 240,000. See the difference? And that was like, some years, right? But in just a decade, it's gone up even more, right? Um, which is crazy. So what does that mean? That not only am I getting cash flow, not only am I going to get laws written in my favor, not because I'm a lobbyist, because the guys in charge of the ship are going to do stuff in their own favor, and they happen to be in the passive category, so they're going to make laws in their own favor. And last but not least, the asset will appreciate. Now, in the 2019, the asset is going to go down, right? But once everything, the smoke clears, we bail out the big banks and we bail out the small banks and big corporations. Well, that's what we do, all that stuff like we did the last time, right? Because me and you're going to bail these guys out making risky moves like derivatives and stuff like that, mortgage-backed securities, last crash, subprime lending, last crash. So they're doing shit like that right now, right? But it's in a different way. For example, I don't want to get into that, but anyways, so once the dust clears and we bail out all these people, or they're actually going to bail into our banking accounts through negative interest rate, then the asset probably is going to go back up like it's been doing since the birth of America, unless the dollar falls and we're on Bitcoin standards, and then things may be different. I don't have a crystal ball. That's why I have cryptocurrencies. That's why I have gold, and that's why I love real estate. Okay, and I'm just answering an age old question. How much real estate do you need to have financial freedom? Well, if you don't have consumption of cancer, because if you have consumption of cancer, if you make $10,000 a month, you'll be in debt 15. If you make $20,000 a year, you'll be in debt 25. And I know so many attorneys, so many friends that make so much money, that have so much success, but they're constantly spending more than they're making. Doesn't matter how much they make. They're constantly into that idea of buying more than they have. And you're working 90-hour weeks. Uh, but if you want freedom, you have to realize that all the stuff like this is material things, and the brands are enslaving you and me by thinking, oh, this is better than this. This is better than this. And if you have this, you have some kind of like, higher authority or this. But it's just all propaganda to get you to compete with your cousin, to get compete with your neighbor, with your best friend, for you guys to just buy more stuff. Okay. And who does that benefit? Well, it benefits the marketers, it benefits the corporations that are just constantly making poor product, like Apple. Shit, man. I used to be an Apple fan back in the days when no one used Apple, man. And since that time, their products getting worse and worse, like their MacBook Pro. Man, I bought 3 MacBook Pros in the last year, past, I should say, 3 to 4 years. They all suck in their keyboards, man. I mean, over. I had to keep taking them in, and the price keeps going up, but the quality keeps going down, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and I'm a big Apple fan, and it's very disappointing. And there's so many other companies out there that Chevy, Ford. Quality just keeps going down, ladies and gentlemen. That's why they're stopped making cars. That's why a Toyota is now a highly demanded car versus a Ford. Okay. And so the big corporations and us bailing them out and the bankers, I don't believe in that. I believe in me and you and creativity. I don't believe in bankers. And that's why I do these videos. So you guys, if you decide to get at the metrics, enslave yourself, you can put information into your brain and come up to your own conclusions, because this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing my opinions with you. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor or CPA. I'm just a refugee to America. Um, I've been an entrepreneur since day one, never had a job, no resume, never worked for a big corporation before, uh, and always chased my dreams. And I've been able to chase my dreams from day one. I'm very, very blessed. And I'm just sharing my knowledge with you guys. If you want to chase your dreams, if you want to be a book writer, if you want to be a real estate investor, you want to be a entrepreneur, you want to do something, you're tired of working for the man, well, guess what? America is the best country to be in. That's why all these immigrants want to come here. Well, there's a lot of immigrants that are coming here because of the benefits, but one of they're coming here is not just because the benefits here, because we're bombing the shit out of their countries, we're overthrowing their countries' governments, and so we're causing so much immigration. But that's a different story. But besides that part, America's a great country to be in to start any business. All you got to do is just get up and take action. Now, many people don't want to take action. They're ready to just watch TV, eat bonbons, watch the football game, and watch someone else be their dreams. But that's your option. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Jab the like button. Leave a comment. Let me know if you own any Bitcoins. And if not, why? And if you do, why did you get into cryptocurrencies, guys? Peace.